Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to all the brothers out there pushing this word of sincerity and the truth. Shalom to the brothers, sisters, and children out there keeping this word of sincerity and the truth. Okay, I just want to go into this lesson. This was an AI video made by the brother Yashawan in our camp. In this video, he had I don't know how Sora works, but he had a video of children playing in like a beautiful jungle-like area, and you see the giraffes in the background with a waterfall, and it's beautiful, which is supposed to represent the kingdom. As you can see how they're dressed, it's supposed to represent them being in the kingdom and them playing, which is all scripture. It's all biblical. This is going to be a reality. It's going to be much, much, much greater than anything in this earth that we can visualize or think about or this AI can create. It's going to far exceed any expectation that anything on earth could ever imagine. But this just gives you an idea of what it is. And I'm going to play it. It's a video. I'm going to play it a couple of times just to get you in the mindset. And just think about this. This is going to be a reality, and this is going to be eventually some brothers' children, whether they have the same mothers or different mothers. They're gonna all have the same fathers. Or you can think of it as in like these are, different brothers' children's playing together, or children in general, just of different Israelites playing. But it's gonna be this is all biblical. So I'm gonna play this video a couple times. It's actually a really beautiful video. So here it is. And AI does its best to try to get everything together, everything right. Certain things might look a little funny or whatever, but for the most part, this looks like something that actually took place. But this is going to be a reality, and this is, it just gets you an idea and the mindset of what to look forward to. This is what the nation of Israel has to look forward to, while the other nations are in captivity. The other nations in captivity, from the adults all the way down to the children, we and our children will be enjoying the kingdom of heaven. And we're going to enjoy it forever. I'm going to let it play this one last time and get a couple scriptures. All right. That's beautiful, man. So this is this is Zechariah. I think it's chapter 8. Yeah, it's Zechariah chapter 8. And I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, and again, the word of the... Wait, is it chapter 8? Yeah, chapter 8, verse 1. Again, the word of the Lord of hosts came to me, saying, thus saith the Lord of hosts, I was jealous for Zion with great jealousy, and I was jealous for her with great fury. And I'm going to read verse 2 in the AMP. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I am jealous for Zion. It says, there is no implication of envy in the jealousy of the Most High, but rather the boundless enthusiasm of the Lord, which loves holiness, hates sin, brings judgment upon sinners, and intervenes on behalf of his godly ones, which is the elect. So it says, I am jealous for Zion with great jealousy, demanding what is rightfully and uniquely mine. And I am jealous for her with great wrath against her enemies. This is why the Lord is in great fury, because our enemies are enjoying the benefits of our labor. They're enjoying the benefits of ruling over the nation of Israel and having them under subjection when we were created to serve the Lord, So the Lord, he's gonna put every single last one of our enemies in a captivity that ever took advantage of us, that ever did anything against our nation. And starting with the elect, we finna get back in order Well, we are the number. The elect is getting back in order to serve Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah. And then once the 2/3 be destroyed, they're going to be reborn back into the kingdom as the children of the elect. And we're all going to be serving our power. This is what he created everything for righteousness to be established on earth through Yahweh Shah, through the Israelites. Verse 3, I'm going to stay in the AMP. It says, thus saith the Lord, I shall return to Zion and will dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, and Jerusalem shall be called the faithful city of truth, and the mountain of the Lord of hosts will be called the holy mountain. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, old men and old women will sit in the streets, public places of Jerusalem, each man with his staff in his hand because of his advanced age. And it says the streets, the Hebrew word refers to broad, spread out spaces such as wide streets, squares, plazas, public parks, and so throughout. All of this is going to be established in the kingdom of heaven. And the cities is going to be built up, Where our kingdom is going to be far out, man. And the place where we dwell, the city, the Jerusalem, the capital, all of this is going to be reestablished with us, the true people that it belongs to, living in it, And it's not saying that we're physically going to be old as far as like looking old and, how we're going to be in new bodies. So even though you're going to be at an advanced age, you might be well over 2,000-3,000 years old, still looking young because we were created to be immortal. But through sin, that brought death into the world. So now that everything is getting back, everything is going to be established how it's supposed to be. We, the Israelites, will be the only nation that's immortal. Everyone else, all the other nations, they're still going to be mortal. They're still going to die and come back, die and be reborn to the earth. And they have to die and be reborn and be retaught righteousness all over again. That's the cycle. But we are going to live forever. It says in the streets of the city will be filled with boys and girls playing in its streets. And here it is. It says the streets will be filled with boys and girls playing, and we're going to be all over the earth. We're going to be all over the universe, but just going into the earth, it said we're going to have an abundance of children. And it said they're going to all be playing in the streets thereof, like it's supposed to be. I'm pretty sure a lot of people can think back to their childhood. For the most part, you've experienced at least one situation where either you witnessed this or you experienced it, or both. You've seen children out in the streets playing. You have to go back because you don't see that no more. So you have to go back 20 plus years, And I say 20 plus years because I know me myself, I'm a fairly young brother. So 20 plus years, I'm 28, 20 plus years ago, I was outside, being outside playing. And I know generations on ahead of me, that's what we did. We was outside playing, technology wasn't as advanced as it is now, but it was around. It was starting to become more available to the public. But we was outside playing in the streets. It'll be a lot of children out there playing, and like I said, everybody else ahead of me that's older will understand the same thing, whether they witnessed it or experienced it or both. All of that is, and that all of that is associated with happy memories, because anytime you talk about your childhood and being outside, it was always associated with something happy and something fun, playing, going outside, playing and everything. All that is associated with happiness. And that's going to return to the nation of Israel, because this is what's been taken away from us, being over here in captivity. This place wasn't supposed to be fun for us. This was supposed to be oppressive. It was set up to punish us first and foremost, and to turn us back to the Lord, so that we can understand and realize, man, look, we can't keep going through this cycle of messing up with our power, and then he put us in this captivity. It just gets worse and worse. Look, we understand now. It ain't nothing better than to serve the Lord. So it says, verse 5 again, and the streets of the city will be filled with boys and girls playing in the streets. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, if it is difficult, well, I'm gonna read that in the KJV. It says, thus saith the Lord of hosts, if it be marvelous in the eyes of the remnant of this people in these days, shall it also be marvelous in mine eyes, says the Lord? And let's get that word marvelous. It says marvelous. Let me get it. The Assyrian Palau or is Palaa. Yeah, it's Palaa in the Hebrew. And it says to be marvelous, be wonderful, be surpassing, be extraordinary, separate, be distinguished action, to be beyond one's power, be difficult to do, to be difficult to understand. So, because right now, it's difficult for us to comprehend this, the way the world is right now. Well, it's not difficult for us to comprehend it, but it's difficult for it to be established in the earth right now because of how the earth is and how the mindset of the people is. But this is actually, like I say, it's marvelous. It's wonderful, surpassing this current state of the earth. It's extraordinary. When you see children outside playing, you hear them screaming, having fun. Everybody just running around. You hear laughter. You know, you can think about it, a family reunion. It's all associated with happy moments. You know, that's literally associated with happiness. So the Lord said, if it be marvelous in the eyes of the remnant of this people in these days, if this is wonderful for you to experience, should it also be marvelous in my eyes, said the Lord? So if it's wonderful for you, how you think it made me feel? If you feel good behind seeing this and experiencing this, how you think it made me feel? I'm the one that created it. I'm the one that set it up like this. You know, I'm the one who had the idea to make this in the first place. Verse 7. Thus saith the Lord, God, the Lord of hosts, behold, I will save my people from the east country and from the west country. We in the west country. And we got brothers and sisters all over the earth in the east country as well. You know, the eastern side of the world. We over here in the western side. So he said, and I will bring them, I'm gonna read that in the verse 7 and 8 in the AMP. Thus says the Lord of hosts, behold, I am going to save my people from the east country and from the west, and I will bring them home, and they will live in the midst of Jerusalem, and they shall be my people, and I will be their God in truth, faithfulness, and in righteousness. Right. So this is where we at. You know, all of this is literally about to become a reality. And we are already getting to Isaiah 4:1 is right around the corner. For a man to multiply exceedingly on the earth, or rather the men of the Lord, the elect, you're going to need more women. Polygyny is biblical, and polygyny is about to be reestablished as the standard, not a standard, as the standard of the earth. Monogamy is going out the window, and women are going to be pushing for polygyny. Not just men. It's going to be both men and women for polygyny. You know, where a man has more than one woman or more than one wife. Now let's get another one. I think it's, let me see. This is Isaiah 11. Let me see where I want to start at. I start at 1. This is Isaiah chapter 11 and 1. Then they shoot the Messiah, Yahushua, will spring from the stock of Jesse, which is David's father, and a branch from his roots will bear fruit. And the Spirit of the Lord will rest on him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and strength, the Spirit of knowledge and of the reverential and obedient fear of Yahweh. So it's saying that the Holy Spirit was on Yahweh Shai for him to come down and do the will of the Heavenly Father, so that we can be reconnected with our power, so that the moments that we are talking about and that we like we seen in that video, so that can happen in the future, you know. And I ain't saying the future as if it's like 1,000 years off. It can very well be 2-3 years from now that we experience something like that. You know? That's how close we are. Verse 3. And he will delight in the fear of the Lord, and he will not judge by what his eyes see, nor make decisions by what his ears hear. But with righteousness and justice he will judge the poor, and decide with fairness for the downtrodden of the earth. And he will strike the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips he shall slay the wicked. So he's doing that with his mouth right now through his prophets, you know, through the men of the Lord that's teaching his word. But Yahweh Shai is going, and then it said the breath of his lips, Yahweh Shai eventually, that's what we waiting on. You know, that's who we waiting on. Yahweh Shai is going to come back to the earth, and he gonna handle these other nations, starting with Esau, Edom. He the main target. But these other nations, they going to get it too. Verse 5. And righteousness will be the belt around his loins, and faithfulness the belt around his waist. Now here go the point. And the wolf will dwell with the lamb, and the leopard will lie down with the young goat, and the calf and the young lion and the fatted steer together. And a little child will lead them. Just like you seen the giraffes in the backfield, the background of the video, it said a little child will lead them. So basically, the Lord was saying, you're going to have animals that in this world is considered predators, and in this world also are considered prey. They're going to be together. They're going to coexist without harming each other. That's how peaceful our kingdom will be under Yahweh Shai's leadership. That's how peaceful it's going to be. And we're going to be able to communicate with the animals, and we're going to be able to understand them too. You know, going to be able to talk to them and communicate with them. Esau be trying to figure that out. He be trying to figure out how do he communicate with the dog. You know, they teach him, train him, but he can't communicate with him. Ain't like the dog can just talk back. But it's an instance in the Bible where the Lord gave an animal speech to talk. Let's get that real quick. It might be considered ass. I done forgot exactly where it's at, too. Let me see. It's in the New Testament, actually. Matter of fact, yeah, it's in the New Testament. I done forgot exactly where it's at, though. Here we go. Was it Second Peter? Let's see. I can probably find it. Oh, okay, here it is. It's Numbers chapter 22. It's Numbers 22. I'm going to start at verse 19, A and P. Now, please, you also stay here tonight, and I will find out what else the Lord will say to me. The Most High came to Balaam at night and said to him, if the men have come to call you, get up and go with them, but you shall still do only what I tell you. So Balaam got up in the morning and saddled his donkey and went with the leaders of Moab. It says, but the Most High's anger was kindled because he was going. Balaam went with the Most High's permission, but his motives were in opposition to the Most High's will. So that's why the Lord's anger was kindled against him. It said, but the Most High's anger was kindled because he was going And the angel of the Lord took his stand in the way as an adversary against him. Now he was riding on his donkey, and his two servants were with him. Let me get the footnote by angel. It says, angel has been capitalized here to reflect the likelihood that it is the Most High appearing in a visible form, which it was just an angel of the Lord. You know, verse 23, when the donkey saw the angel of the Lord standing in the way and his drawn sword in his hand, the donkey turned off the path and went into the field. But Balaam struck the donkey to turn her back toward the path. But the angel of the Lord stood in a narrow path of the vineyards with a stone wall on his side and a stone wall on that side. So basically, it was only one way to go. So the donkey couldn't go nowhere else. Donkey couldn't turn nowhere else. The donkey seen an angel getting ready to kill him. You know, he was like, hold on now. You try to, what you got going on? So verse 25, it says, when the donkey saw the angel of the Lord, she pressed herself against the wall and crushed Balaam's foot against it, and he struck her again. Because she was trying to get him to stop. So, you jam your foot up against something, you trying to tell him. The donkey couldn't talk at the time. It was trying to warn him that danger was ahead of him. But Balaam couldn't see it. So verse 26, the angel of the Lord went further and stood in a narrow path where there was no room to turn either to the right or to the left. So look, the donkey was like, you ain't got nowhere to go now. When the donkey saw the angel of the Lord, she lay down under Balaam. So Balaam was angry, and he struck the donkey a third time with his staff. And the Lord opened the mouth of the donkey, and she said to Balaam, what have I done to you that you have struck me these 3 times? And you think these animals don't be aware of what people do to them? You don't think that they are aware? You don't think they have awareness or a spirit? You know, you people don't be thinking these animals understand. They understand. They definitely understand. Then, verse 29, then Balaam said to the donkey, he over here talking to the donkey, didn't even realize it. Because you have made a mockery of me. If there had been a sword in my hand, I would have killed you by now. The donkey said to Balaam, am I not your donkey on which you have ridden all your life until this day? Have I ever been accustomed to do so to you? And he said, no. And the donkey was like, have I ever tried to do anything evil to you? He was like, no. Then the Lord opened Balaam's eyes, and he saw the angel of the Lord standing in the way with his drawn sword in his hand. And he bowed his head and lay down his face down. The angel of the Lord said to him, why have you struck your donkey these 3 times? Behold, I have come out to stand against you because your behavior was obstinate and contrary to me. So the Lord was letting him know, look, you was trying to go do something different than what I told you to do. The donkey saw me and turned away from me these 3 times. If she had not turned away from me, I would have certainly killed you and let her live. You know, the Lord, he would allow the donkey to live, but killed him. Balaam said to the angel of the Lord, I have sinned, for I did not know that you were standing in the way against me. But now if my going displeases you, I will turn back. The angel of the Lord said to Balaam, go with the men, but you should speak only what I tell you. So Balaam went along with the leaders of Balak. So now let's go back to that 2 Peter's. This is 2 Peter chapter 2. I'm gonna start at verse 15. Let me see. Yeah, 15, AMP. Abandoning the straight road, that is the right way to live, they have gone astray. They have followed the way of the false teacher Balaam, the son of Beor, who loved the reward of wickedness. But he was rebuked for his own transgression. A mute donkey spoke with a man's voice and restrained the prophet's madness. So the Lord had a donkey, a wild animal, to talk to a man, you know? And all of that is going to return. I'm going to see. Let me see something. I wanted to see if it, thought it was a translation where he came to realize that, you know, he was talking to the donkey. Oh, I thought it was a. It just don't matter. I just thought it was a verse that actually said he realized that the donkey had talked. And it might be, but anyway, let's get back to the point. So this back at Isaiah 11:6. AMP. And the wolf will dwell with the lamb, and the leopard will lie down with the young goat, and the calf and the young lion and the fattened steer together, and a little child will lead them. Verse 7, and the cow and the bear will graze together. Their young will lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox. These are predator and prey animals dwelling together, not harming each other, because there will be peace in the kingdom of heaven, even amongst the animals. And they won't attack us, and we will have no need to attack them. But these other nations, they're gonna be getting busy, especially Esau, Edom. They're gonna be getting busy. Verse 8. And the nursing child will safely play over the hole of the cobra, and the weaned child will put his hand on the viper's den and not be hurt. Meaning we're gonna be on a level to be able to even play with snakes. You know, our children will play with snakes, and they won't have no need to worry about being harmed. You know. Verse 9, they will not hurt or destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth will be full of the knowledge of the Lord as the waters cover the sea. Right. And this is what we patiently waiting on. You know? This is what we patiently waiting on. So even in the kingdom of heaven, our children will be blessed. They will have spiritual power. The fear of all nations will be even on our children. You know? Well, did I say that right? The other nations will fear our children. I say it like that. Yeah, no, I did say that wrong. I didn't mean the fear of the other nations will be on our children. Our children will be superior to all the other nations. So they will even fear our children, you know. Their children won't be allowed to play with our children, but our children they'll be over. The other nation's children will be our children's servants, you know. They're going to be our children's servants to do with them as they please. You know, that's what the kingdom, that's what it's all about. I'm gonna end it on that. Jeremiah chapter 30. Just for anybody that got a problem with that. This is Jeremiah 30. Let's get Bible comparisons. KJV in 16. Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thy adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. Let's get the BBE. For this cause all those who take you for their food will themselves become your food, and all your attackers, every one of them, will be taken prisoners. And those who send destruction on you will come to destruction. And all those who take away your goods by force will undergo the same themselves. And all nations partaking in this. So that means all nations will have this done unto them. Because this is righteous judgment. And this is right here in the Bible. There's no way to misinterpret this. There's no other way to understand this. This is right in the Bible. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get one more after this, actually. All right, let's get in on this. It's Revelation chapter 13 and 9. I'm going to get that. Well, 10. Let's get that in Bible comparison. KJV. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. NLT. Anyone who is destined for prison will be taken to prison. Anyone destined to die by the sword will die by the sword. This means that the Most High's holy people must endure persecution patiently and remain faithful. AMP. If anyone is destined for captivity, he will go into captivity. If anyone kills with a sword, he must be killed with a sword. Here is the call for the patient endurance and the faithfulness of the saints, which is seen in the response of the Most High's people to difficult times. BBE, if any man sends others into prison he will go. If any man puts to death with the sword he must be put to death. Here is the quiet strength and the faith of the saints. And have not that so-called white man Esau Edom been doing this to our people all this time? Ever since he been in power? And these other nations been in cohorts with it. They've been agreeing with it. You know? To the point to where they've even done it when they was in power in their kingdoms. All of them has done it. So therefore, all of it must come back unto them. So that's the point. And Lord will, it's an edifying lesson. So on that note, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to all the brothers out there pushing his word of sincerity and the truth. Shalom to the brothers, sisters, and children out there keeping his word of sincerity and the truth. Until next time, shalom.